This is the first time the Department of Justice is prosecuting someone for illegally importing greenhouse gases.
March 4th, the Los Angeles Times. A San Diego man has been arrested on suspicion of smuggling potent greenhouse gases into the United States from Mexico, becoming the first in the nation to be charged with smuggling the environmentally harmful gases that are commonly used as refrigerants, according to federal prosecutors. On a side note, I'm not really terribly worried about you putting her in your car or your refrigerator. I'm not too worried about that in the scheme of things compared to what's going on in the world right now. But apparently, the federal government is so active, they're so looking out for not only national security, apparently world security, that they have time to prosecute this guy for bringing in basically Freon from Mexico into San Diego. Michael Hart, 58, is accused of hiding hydrofluorocarbons, also known as HFCs, in his vehicle to transport them across the border from Mexico, according to a news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of California. Your old stomping grounds, Bill, and my old stomping grounds. I don't know if you know who the current prosecutor is there. You've been gone a short time. You know who that person is by any chance?
Yeah, that's San Diego, yeah.
Hello, I'm Tara McGrath, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of California. This office is at the forefront of environmental prosecutions, and today is a significant milestone for our country. This is the first time that the Department of Justice is prosecuting someone for illegally importing greenhouse gases, and it will not be the last. We are using every means possible to protect our planet from the harm caused by toxic pollutants, including bringing criminal charges.
Hydrofluorocarbons are considered a major driver of global warming, so forth, so on, blah, 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 blah. Now, let me see here about potential penalties. I can't remember in this article. Of course, the whole point is to let you know that the federal government is allocating resources to Freon coming across the border. The indictment said that Hart conspired with people in both Mexico and the U.S. to buy and sell refrigerant from June 2022 through December 2022. He conspired to smuggle not methamphetamine or heroin or fentanyl, but hydrofluorocarbons. And now he's looking at, I'm sure, a stiff federal prison sentence for this atrocity of atrocities. Story number 2. It's from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement website itself, right to the source. It's from their own website. This goes back August of last year of 2023, Houston, Texas. And Bill, maybe you remember this. I don't remember this particular story, but human smuggling / trafficking. Again, this is from U.S. Immigration and Customs, ICE's own website. Texas man sentenced, so he's been sentenced to 10 years for operating human smuggling ring following a Homeland Security investigation out of Houston, a U.S. Border Patrol investigation. Now again, this guy was smuggling people. Now this is a real thing. This is not hydrofluorocarbons. This is not the Freon going into your refrigerator. This is actually a dirtbag who's smuggling people around the country. They were illegal aliens, also known as newcomers if you're in the Biden administration. But I want you to listen to the story very carefully, and it's very short. Houston, a judge ordered a Houston man to serve 10 years in federal prison August 1st against last year for organizing a human smuggling ring where he recruited and directed others to transport unlawfully present non-citizens into the interior of the United States. The takeaway from that paragraph, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unlawfully present non-citizens. That means illegal aliens who are already here. They had already come across the border. He's serving a 10-year federal prison sentence for moving people who had already come across the border. He didn't traffic them across the border. He simply, it's still a serious charge and he should be prosecuted. But he was moving them around the country, within the country, not across our southern or northern border. The investigation that led to the conviction and sentencing was conducted by Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, Houston, and the U.S. Border Patrol. Charles Lee's 55, 10 years in prison. So he had a network. He recruited others to legally transport non-citizens from Laredo, Texas, to San Antonio and other destinations. In total, the investigation showed that Smith supervised the transport of approximately 182 non-citizens, including 6 unaccompanied minors. 182. So what does this have to do, if you haven't guessed already, what does this have to do with the Washington Examiner article I'm reading from here and the Biden administration bringing in 320,000 immigrants into U.S. cities? What does it have to do? Well, let me give you a little background here from this article from the Washington Examiner. Efforts by open border Democrats to blame the growing big city migrant crisis on Texas and its program of busing illegal immigrants north are being upstaged by a new investigation showing that President Biden has secretly flown hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants from Latin American airports to 43 U.S. cities. Now, Bill, did I miss that? Misread that? Is it hundreds of thousands according to what you've read?
30,000 a month, every month. 30,000 a month, every month, to 43 cities. They're not disclosing where those 43 cities are. Hart, and I think it may be important to just drop this little note up front here. Why is it important to know where these cities are, and why is it significant that this administration is putting people in those cities? I think
it is a great question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think there's flight from some of these states right now. People leaving California, like yourself. People leaving New York. People leaving Illinois. When the next census is done, what happens? The population count is down. Do you know that they count, quote, illegals in the census? They count illegals in the census. So explain to people why this is important. Why does the state of New York want to bump up their rolls with illegals? Why does the state of California want to bump up their rolls of illegals? Because this is a hugely important part of the story that explains to people how political operatives are doing this to take advantage of the system and manipulate the vote in years to come.